Hello, everyone, and good morning, and welcome to Wow Wednesday. If it's Wednesday, this is the place to be to get your midweek boost of motivation, education, and inspiration. Today, I am really delighted to have a woman who has been a friend, mentor, and colleague and contributor to the Women's Prosperity Network community from the very first year we started. We're talking back in 2008, 2009. And Jill, as a matter of fact, I live about a half a mile away from the venue where we held that very first event together. So every time I'm there, I'm just like, oh, this is where we started with Jill. So it's so much fun, and I'm so grateful to have you with us today. And for everyone here, I'll bring Jill on in just a moment. As always, we're going to go for about 30 minutes with our guest, and then we'll open up for question and answer. So if you're here with us on the Zoom, you want to go ahead and jot your questions down, put them in the chat, and we'll make sure that we get to them. If you're here with us on social media, go ahead and put that question in the comments. And again, I will bring them to Jill so we make sure you get your answers so that you can move forward for greater visibility and greater impact. Couple of quick WPN announcements. We've got several things coming up. First of all, I want to say kudos and a shout out to everyone who joined us for yesterday's Networking with a Twist. I believe there were close to 100 women and a few awesome men that joined us to connect and collaborate, and they had a wonderful time together. So kudos to all of you. And then coming up, we've got our 2-day legendary Level Up workshop, and that's happening June 16th and 17th. And we have got a special code for you. If you do not yet have a ticket to this event, you want to get one, and simply go to our events calendar and look for June 16th and 17th, which is our 2-day Level Up workshop. We've been hosting this legendary workshop. And when I say it's legendary, I'm not just blowing smoke. It is legendary for the results that it will produce for you. We've been doing it, I think, for 12 years, a proven system to up-level your life, your business, and everything. So we want to have you join us for that. You can save 50%. So go to the events calendar, find the Level Up workshop. When you do your checkout, enter the code SAVE50, all capitals, SAVE 50, and join us and level up your life and your connections. They do say that your net worth is equal to the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So come spend time with us and let's level up together. With that, I'm going to bring you Jill Lublin, who is here to support you in making sure that you get the visibility you deserve, the publicity and attention you deserve without breaking the bank. That's what we love. And that's why this is called Guerrilla Publicity. Welcome, Jill.
Oh, thank you so much, Nancy, and my beautiful WPN sisters. It's great to be here with you.
Yay, we're thrilled to have you. And while she's holding up that love sign, I'm going to let out a little secret and invite you all to celebrate, because on Sunday, my dear friend, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, my dear friend Jill is getting married. You have had a wonderful engagement period.
Very long.
And it's a sure thing. So Jill, we send you lots of love, lots of blessings. I am going to be there with you, not in person, but on Zoom, unless I wake up and I decide I'm going to get on a plane Sunday, but probably not. Congratulations. We're delighted for you and Steve.
Thank you so much. It's very exciting.
Yes, it is. So let me tell you about this wonderful woman, besides from the fact that we love and honor her so much here in the community. Jill is an international speaker on the topics of publicity, networking, kindness, and referrals. She is the author of 4 best-selling books, including Get Noticed, Get Referrals, published by McGraw-Hill, and the co-author of Guerrilla Publicity and Networking Magic. Her latest book, Profit of Kindness, went #1 in 4 categories: Jill is a master strategist on how to position your business for more profitability and more visibility in the marketplace. She is the CEO of a strategic consulting firm and has over 25 years of experience working with, get this, over 100,000 people, plus national and international media. She teaches a virtual publicity boot camp and consults and speaks all over the world. She has spoken on many stages with luminaries such as Tony Robbins, and she leads a conscious kindness community. Let's jump in and welcome Jill. Here we go.
Thank you, Nancy. Always great to be here with you.
So I want to start off by asking you, and I'm not sure I've asked you this before, how did you end up in this lane of publicity?
Well, I went to law school and I hated it. So during law school, I had to figure out a fun, for me, thing that I could get involved with, and that was the music business. So I actually started my publicity career in the music business because when I dropped out of law school, which I did, and honestly felt like a bit of a failure at that point, but I did start really what became my lane, which is publicity. And I actually was in 4 independent record labels, helping artists to get more visible. I worked with small independent record labels, which means we didn't have budgets. So I really learned my guerrilla publicity tactics there and, shined them up and kept going in the music business and opened up my own PR agency. And now I'm helping entrepreneurs get their publicity done and look like the big guys, so that you can really get out there. It really was a path and a way, and somewhat like many of us, I sort of fell into it, but fell into it the right way.
Yeah, and stuck with it because you got it. Oh, I'm good at this. And it has to, and I love the blend between guerrilla publicity, your PR company, networking and referrals, which is part of what you do for more publicity, as well as the profit of kindness. Like you're just this beautiful suite of perfection in all these areas.
Thank you. And, I think a piece of that is really finding your way. And then it's okay to keep creating it, right? I mean, Profit of Kindness surprised me just as much as everybody in terms of the new book. So, so I'm excited about it. And then, of course, from a publicity perspective, I had to figure out how to promote it, which was a wonderful blend of everything I tell people to do.
Beautiful. Well, and so let's jump into some strategies and tactics, because every single person listening in today wants something more.
Yeah.
And it almost can feel like you're pregnant with possibility, but you don't know how to give birth, right? So, and probably prompted with babies on my brain, I'm about to have my 5th grandchild. So yeah, that's happening soon. And so what are some of the things we could do to help birth this process for entrepreneurs to the next level?
So a big thing is, or let me just say a small step, right? Because I think publicity is a series of small steps. And I just want all of you to know you take that first step and then more things happen. So let's stay away from there's so much to do and focus on what's to do first. And what's to do first is make sure your message is good. That's really a key. And with that, I want to say, pay attention to what's happening in the news. What I've seen is people are getting in media because, frankly, there's so much going on. Like this month, for instance, is Mental Health Awareness Month. If you do, this is the month of May, right? If you do anything in the area of mental health, in the area of feeling better, that could be a health coach, that could be any variation of working with people with mindset. There are just so many ways that you could make this work. So I want you to be thinking about how could I fit into the month that is happening, perhaps, whether it's your story or what you do, or perhaps it's the news that's happening, or perhaps it is your focused message. So that right there is 3 zoomed in ways to get focus on what you're doing.
Yeah, I love it. So pay attention to what's happening in the media, what holidays, what events, what celebrations or memorial days are being set up, and see how your topic relates to it, and start talking on it, start sharing. And here's what I'm curious about is, let's say I want to get on the news, I want to be on a show. That takes some pre-planning typically to get on there, correct?
Well, here's the reality on that. What I want you to do is think about planting your publicity garden, right? So we're planting for now, we're growing it for 9 months from now. 3, 6, 9 months is really how I want you to think ahead. Now, and your beautiful publicity garden will grow. And the other thing is, you got to just be ready to jump right in at times. So the reality is, sometimes you just pick up the phone, literally. And I want you to just pick up the darn phone. No, it doesn't have to be complicated, and call into your local news station as well as your local radio. And the truth is, they do want you. So if there's a story that's happening right now, jump in, pick up the phone. It doesn't have to be complicated. I really am dedicated to taking the, shall we say, complication out of this process, and let's make it systematic and easy.
Love it. Love it. And I want to come back to picking up the phone in a moment. In this concept of, being in the conversation and being topical with what's happening, my suggestion to add to that would also be, just start sharing about it. Get on shows, do your own videos, put them on YouTube, do your reels, because the media is watching all of this. They're looking for stories to bring in. And several months ago, I had Cece as Spew on the Wow Wednesday show at 9 a.m. And here's the deal. She was ready to say yes. Just like you said, you got to be ready, right? You're planting that garden, and somebody's going to call you and say, come and do this. So Cece was ready. And I called her 2 days before Wow Wednesday, because I had a last minute opening, invited her on the show. She said yes, because she was trained up and she knew. And we had her on the show at 9 a.m. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, our local TV news network said, can you be on the 11 o'clock news? Because I heard you on the Wow Wednesday show.
Ooh, yes, thank you. Case in point, my friends. And the truth is, media is watching. They saw this. Oh, how exciting that is! What a wonderful, what a wonderful opportunity by being here, by being seen. I mean, this is really the reality, my friends. You've got to be seen and be heard. You will also get paid, get clients. It's building your trust and authority and credibility. And the truth is, the media, are watching, and exactly what Nancy is saying, they're looking for you, oh, experts, you. And as far as I'm concerned, you're all experts, and we zoom in on whatever your expertise can be related perhaps to what's going on. So part of it is, I just want to say, the media, it's all about opinion. You've got an opinion, you are experts. As far as I'm concerned, most of you can sound smart for at least 4 minutes, which is an average media interview, right? 4 minutes, my friends. This is doable.
Right. So if imposter syndrome is holding you back, forget about it. Anybody can be smart for 4 minutes.
Exactly. And I just really want to assure you all, it is about opinion. And you've got one, I promise you. And, it's not like you have to know everything about everything. And I remember an ABC TV Dallas station calling me and saying, hey, Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben's was changing their name. And they said, will you comment on this? You're an expert on publicity. The truth is, I was teaching my publicity boot camp. I hadn't even seen the story. Now, Google is a beautiful thing. I Googled, I formed my opinion, and I went on air. So this is the reality, is that not everything has to be perfect. And I just want to take out that perfection thing and say to all of you, just be who you are. Have an opinion, create a solution based on what you know, and do your best. The point is getting in the media, because media is like I'm from Michigan originally, so I can talk about snow, because you have to build, you have to kind of build a snowball. Yeah, it's a snowball. And it keeps growing in momentum, and publicity gives you momentum to keep going. So you just kind of got to start somewhere. It can be simple podcasts. It can be your local media, which I believe strongly in, because that leads to more and more and more. And media begets media.
So much power here. I know you all have a page full of notes so far and bunches of questions. So know that we're going to open up for questions in just a little bit. Circling back to just pick up the phone and call your local station. What do I say?
So part of it is, hi, I've heard the story this morning, or, it's obvious that something's going on right now, and I want to talk about that. I know Denise Garrett is online, and she's one of my incredible mastermind clients. So Denise, I'll give you an example, is a former firefighter out of North Carolina. Well, when the Turkey and Syria earthquakes were happening, I remember Denise and I had a quick convo about how to be a first responder. What happens? What do you do if there's an emergency, right? And because she's a firefighter, she knows this, even though she's doing something specific to business about that right now. The truth is that's still who she is. All of you have something, parts of you, different pieces. I want you to use all parts of who you are. And I think that really makes a difference. So it's called Pick Up the Phone. The producers are the ones you want to reach in your local. And I love local because they need experts all the time. And because you live in the community, like Cece you were talking about, guess what? You're the chosen one. And, I am a lot of the belief that first one to the phone wins. And so what does that mean? Pick up the phone, follow up, send in a focused email, and that's where you go, hey, listen, I'm a local expert on mental health. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. And what I want to give your viewers is, simple ways that they can stay mentally healthy every day, or simple solutions for the very stressful lifestyle that we have. Whatever it is, right? In other words, you're creating solutions. And here's the thing, if one thing doesn't work, don't take it personally. Let's just, go to plan B. And sometimes you got to do a little bit of throw spaghetti at the wall and let's see what sticks. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing that I think most people don't do is enough follow-up. Let me just say that you actually stay focused, that you don't get discouraged, because, hey, media is busy. They're honestly overwhelmed, a bit, majorly stressed themselves. And the reality is sometimes they're just waiting for waiting for you, the right person. That's what I want you all to know.
Yeah, beautiful. And I love this bit about following up and not giving up and not taking it personally. And I want to remind everyone the baseball analogy that a batting average of 300 is really, really good. That means 3 out of 10. So keep that in mind. All you got to do is 3 out of 10 or 2 out of 10. You don't have to hit the mark on every single one. You just want to stay in action, in momentum, because that's how you plant seeds. That's how you nourish the garden. That's how your garden will grow, from all of that consistency. So I love that. All right, what else? I know you like to talk about the formula for your message on how to craft it. And this may be what you're actually going to offer inside your gift, because I know you have a free gift for everybody. So do you want to do the message piece now, or we'll do that later?
Oh, I'd love to do the message piece. So here's the thing. I know that you're smart enough to be here today, to learn, to listen, to be part of the WPN community, just as I am. And let me just say, the point is that you're all experts. That means you're messengers. And the question is, in what? Okay, so I have a simple formula for creating your expertise, and that is answering this. What's the problem out there? Now, my friends, this is where I want most of you to see that a little bit of a mistake sometimes you make is you say, here's what I do, okay? I want to know, what's the problem out there? I'll tell you something. When I wrote Guerrilla Publicity, that's my first book, 3rd edition now, woo! And let me just say, I interviewed Entrepreneur Magazine, and the editor there said to me to share with all of you that what she cares about is her readers. You know, a TV producer and your local affiliates, as well as national shows, what they care about is their viewers. And of course, any magazine, blogs, etc., they care about their readers. So, you know, I want you to really get that. And you have to talk in you language, just like I'm doing with you right now. Get used to that in interviews. Use you language, use simple language, and then give people real solutions. Here's why I want you to drip your gold, and I want you to give away, yes, your expertise, just like we're doing right here. Tell people what to do. And I like 3. People can remember in 3. So give people 3 things to do and tell them to do it, you know, again, simply, and condense what you know in a quick version. And that way, here's the super great thing. Let's just say you got that 4-minute interview. I want you to come out with this message. Speaking of baseball, batting quickly and focused. Not that I know a lot about baseball, but I do know that you got to come out swinging, right? And I want you to swing with a great message that's filled with quality, golden nuggets, and gives people real information. All right. So that's the formula. What's the problem out there? And then give them 3 solutions to do it, and something to really give them actual things they can do. And then, you know what? They come to you. It's an attraction factor of what publicity does. It's a magnetization factor, right? It multiplies you. And this is the power of publicity.
Yeah. So, and again, a mistake most entrepreneurs make, whether they're going to networking events, pitching to get on a show, doing a talk, is the me syndrome, which is it's always about them. What are others going through, and how can you contribute to and provide a solution?
Right. So remember, from a media perspective, it's about the readers, the viewers, the listeners. If you put yourself in their shoes, it's like if you were tuning in, what would make you stop and listen? Oh, I got to hear that. Right. And that's you, the expert, who's giving out those solutions. Perfect.
So if we were talking about mental health awareness, it could be the problem out there is, look up the percentage, X% of the population is in a constant state of stress and anxiety from all the demands on their attention. We live in an attention society. That's what companies are looking for, your attention. So here are 3 suggestions on how to protect yourself and your attention so that it doesn't turn to anxiety and stress. Do this, do this, do this. Perfect. Exactly. I should probably go do that.
Yes. And you know what, Nancy, if you went in, great. I mean, even as the leader of WPN, right, you understand stress today. And, we're mostly a community of women. I mean, there's International Women's Month. There's, Hispanic Heritage Month, Black History Month. And then, brings me to use all parts of who you are, my friends, all parts of who you are, your religion, your ethnicity, every piece of who you are. And I have had most of my clients actually have been incredibly successful doing that specific strategy. And I think, many of you could step into that and take a look up nationaldaycalendar.com. It will cue you to many wonderful holidays and, take an inventory of who you are. And maybe you just haven't talked about certain things before or used everything you've got.
Love that. So go to, what is it? National Calendar?
Nationaldaycalendar.com.
nationaldaycalendar.com and take a look at all the different types of events and days that are honored and commemorated, and see where you can contribute to a conversation, or what's your opinion on those things, what's your expertise. I absolutely love that one. That's a great one. Awesome. We're going to get into Q&A in a little bit, but before we do that, I bet you have another tip or solution, something you want to give, because you are just abundant with knowledge.
Thank you. Well, one thing I want you to focus on is Google Alerts. And number one, register your name, because if you are featured in media, like that Uncle Ben's rice piece, I couldn't find it on ABC TV. I don't live in Dallas. I live in Northern California. But boy, up pop Google alerts, and there it was, so that I could reuse it, because you always want to, note this, publicize your publicity, right? And so everything counts and everything matters. Now, also in Google alerts is I want you to list like one thing. So you want to create, let's say you're an expert in mental health, put the words mental health in. And I'll just tell you, with my latest book, Profit of Kindness, by putting the word kindness into Google alerts, I found out that, well, November 13th is World Kindness Day. I didn't know that before I wrote the book. I mean, sometimes it's so fun because you'll learn so much too. So make sure you use that, one word in Google Alerts, and of course, plus your name.
Beautiful. And I want you to speak about kindness for a moment, because this all ties into publicity. So you got this inspiration to write this book, and then you found out it was National Kindness Day. And then you're like, oh, what can I do to be in alignment with that? So again, we're giving you illustrations of how you can take your message, what you're about, what you're writing, what you're an expert in, and plug it into different systems that expand your reach. So tell them what you did after the book and the day.
Absolutely. So turns out it's World Kindness Day, right? And I'm like, okay, what's the problem out there? Our problem, at least in the United States, and now I think worldwide, is the divided states of America. That's the story, my friend, that got me into literally 7 Fox News interviews in the first 30 days. And I've been in Inc. magazine and Forbes magazine twice, talking about the kindness in business. I now have a wonderful, conscious kindness community where I've been blessed to feature Nancy Matthews, and we get together, all the time too. So guess what? Kindness, like publicity, is the gift that keeps on giving. But here's the reality. I had to tie in kindness. It wasn't like, ooh, Jill wrote a book. That's not the story. The story was, how does kindness fit into the world, and what can we do to have more of it? That's the story. Go ahead.
That goes right back to what you just said, that it's not about you, that you wrote a book. It's about the world. It's about the people in the world. How can this enhance and help someone else? It's not about this book. No, it's about, here's this problem. The problem today is, and what I share in my book is a solution.
Absolutely. And you know what? I don't even talk about the book. I say, here are some specific things you can do, because the media will say, hey, go get Jill's book, The Profit of Kindness, or Guerrilla Publicity. They will, put it on the blue screen after, let's say, on TV interviews. But one thing I do want to tell all of you that's actually important is, whether it's a podcast, which, is fairly simple to get on, great news, or your local media or anything, I want you to do 2 things before you get on air. Number 1, tell them how to pronounce your name. Number 2, ask about, for instance, if you're on TV, you always want to check what's called, the blue screen at the end, and you want to make sure your name is spelled right, the link is correct. I have so many times, especially on book tours, noticed that they had something incorrect in the link or misspelled my name, whatever it is. Double check these things, because here's the thing: you control your message, and you got to make sure, honestly, that things are right, because you want wonderful results. And part of that is making sure that they're directing people to the right places.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. So good. So many nuggets. And I bet you have so many questions. So let me go ahead. We're going to come to the part in our show where you can ask some questions. Again, if you're with us on Zoom, you'll be able to open up your line, and I'll bring you on for audio. You can put your questions in the comments, as well as if you're with us on social media. And while I'm getting that ready, tell everybody about the gift that you have. So I already posted about your kindness circles, and for anybody on the phone, jot this down. You want to join her for, these are monthly, right? Once a month you do these kindness
Once a month,
circles?
yes.
So good. So good. Go to jilllublin.com/kindness circles. So that's a plural, kindness circles, and type it as all one word. And to support you in getting out there, tell us about the free gift, and I'll put that link in the chat as well.
Absolutely. So what I've created is a two-part, you get double the fun action guide for more publicity, more great tips, and real things that you can do. And then on top of that, you get a free publicity masterclass with me live, my friends. So I'm going to give you great content and answer your questions. That's live. And so check that publicity gift out. And I know Nancy's going to put it in the chat. And do you want me to say the link, or you can?
Go ahead and say the link while I'm continuing to get people set up to ask their questions. So that'd be great.
Absolutely. It's publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. And come on in there and check it out, publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. I look forward to seeing you live and for you enjoying and multiplying your magnificence.
Woohoo! Love it, love it, love it. So we got both links in the chat for you, gifts from Jill. So first go to jilllublin.com, which is JILLLUBLIN, lots of L's in there. JillLublin.com/kindness circles. And then also the publicity crash course, you're going to go to publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. So go ahead and grab those, and let's go ahead and take our first caller, which is going to be Pastor Darlene.
Good morning. How are you, Jill and Nancy? It is super exciting to be in this room. And I was listening to you talk about how you get your name out there, not only in national, but you do local. And my question to you, and I might have missed it, so please forgive me. How do you approach them and going to a local station? People, because I'm an author and a speaker and a caregiver's co-mentor, and I'm very concerned about what's happening this month as it's being mental health awareness, because the caregivers can be really overwhelmed with all things that are going on. And I'd love to be able to get a message out that there's a place for them to go. So can you speak to that? How do we make that introduction and get that information out to others? Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. And so, yeah, we did mention a little bit, but let me go through it again. And that is, you honestly pick up the phone, and I do double duty. I want to say to all of you, publicity is a rule of seven follow-ups. That means one of them will be pick up the phone. Hey, I'm Pastor Darlene, and it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I've been supporting caregivers for quite a while. But the reality is that we are in a state of, okay, boom, right into the pitch. And so I would do that, and then follow it up with an email that also sums up very quickly, my friends, what it is and the main points you want to make. And then, of course, I would actually keep repeating that, rinse and repeat about 7 times. I would mix up email, phone, see if you can connect with them on LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever your, place that you, platform that you are best seen on. That's key, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to also say, do not rely on social media as your publicity. It's not. What publicity is really that the bigger forum, which is more established authority of the media talking about you. So that's what I would do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, because I intend to do it right away. And I'm going to be a part of your upcoming sessions, because what you've shared is priceless. And Nancy, you rock as usual.
I am blessed to be surrounded by so many amazing people who want to contribute to each other's success. That's what it is. It's so good.
Thank you both so very, very much.
You're welcome, my dear. Quick question on that. when you're making the outbound calls to the producers and the local networks, should it be you yourself, or should it be an assistant, or does it matter? I guess that's
And Nancy, I'm so glad you said that, because I was thinking exactly the same thing. That I wanted to clarify that. And that is, listen, you can have an assistant do many of these things. Many of my clients, I just give the assistant the script, right? It is a script. I just want to say that it is a script. So don't get too, brain warped about, having to do everything perfect. We want to get a focused script. If it doesn't work, we readjust, recreate, come down another alley and figure out the right way, because being successful in media means the consistency and persistency factor is one of your success strategies. What do I mean by that? Write this down. Be consistent and persistent with the media, because they have to know that they can trust you and that you will deliver. And one of the things they know is if you're, shall we say, following up, they'll listen, they'll look you up, they'll know that you're an expert. And so that's good news.
And let me tell you, this whole thing about consistency and persistency, I'll give you an example. On the other end, people ask me stuff all the time. Every day, I probably get 10 different emails from people. I saw you on LinkedIn. It looks like you do good work. Have you wanted to do this lead generation? Have you wanted to do that? So we want to create a new, at least 10 a day I get. The ones that I ultimately respond to probably have to email me 3 to 4 times.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And on that 3rd or 4th time, that's when it happens. So I don't do it on purpose. I'm just busy. Right. So, imagine, and it doesn't bother me. Let's point this out. It doesn't bother me that you're following up. I respect it.
Mm-hmm. And so does media, Nancy. So let me just say, they respect it as long as you're nice. I remember in my pitching days with a publicity agency, one of my great media contacts of a major media, she said, Jill, I took your calls because you were nice. And you followed up nicely. So this is the thing. And exactly what Nancy said, they are busy, respect their time. When you do get them, or even your emails and your follow-up, and including your voicemail, should be short, focused, and to the point, because media people are, they're pointed. They're stressed and they're busy with their own deadlines, and it is constant input. So you want to be one of those constant input that can solve their problems, meaning good guest, great source of information, and they know that that their people, their listeners, their viewers, their readers are in good hands.
Love it. Love it. So good. All right. This is so juicy. Jot it down. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. So join Jill. Go to publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. Do it. Jump in. Let's go to question from Facebook. Vivian wants to know, what is Google Alerts?
If you go to Google, just go look it up. I mean, honestly, if you Google Alerts, funny enough, it'll show right up. But what happens is, like on my phone daily, listen, I put in the word publicity because I'm an expert in that. I put in the word kindness. So daily, I get the stories that media is working on in the area of kindness, in the area of publicity, and it will alert me to any stories that use those headlines. And it's been wonderful for me for finding speakers for my kindness circle, perhaps, or knowing that certain reporters are talking about publicity or kindness. So it cues you right in to what's going on and where the subject matter is being talked about. That way, you know who to pitch, you know who's interested in this, you know who's writing about it, and it gives you a place to jump from, which is super great.
Love it. Love it. All right. Next question is going to be Denise Garrett. And Denise, if you want to come live and ask your question, that would be great. Her question starts with, what's the best way to reach the producers of our local media outlets?
Right. And I noticed Bonita asked something similar. And I think, again, locally is a great place to start. I really want to reassure all of you that the media, are looking for you, the experts. So, it's interesting. Sometimes your local chamber of commerce will have a local media list, and so will, interestingly enough, your TV station. So start there. They will often compile a local media list really as a public service to you. So I really want to encourage you, start locally and ask, do you have a media list? Now I don't know since COVID if they still updated it, but I will tell you that was a pretty great place to start. Now, here's the thing about when you get a media list, figure there's at least a 10% attrition rate, meaning they're not there anymore, or it's a different person. So one of the things I would do is have an assistant. This is not things you need to do. Cross-check and see who is the producer of the morning show right now. So most of you have a local morning show. Like we have Mornings on 2 in the Bay Area, Good Day LA in Los Angeles, and so on and so forth. So I love the morning shows. Find out who the producer of that is, who's the producer of the morning news, the noon news, which is often the same person, and then the evening news. I mean, honestly, it's about 6, maybe 8 names, my friends. This isn't this isn't too much, right? So get those 6 to 8. ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox News affiliates, in your market. Okay, those would be where I'd start. And a great way to do that is cross-check. It's also usually listed on their own website, although honestly, they make it a little harder to find on their own website. But interestingly enough, third parties, like I mentioned, will have it.
You could also go on LinkedIn.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
What is their title? Yeah.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Denise. Denise, did you want to ask or add anything else?
No, I looked at the channels themselves and didn't get very far. So that's why I was asking the question.
Yeah, because honestly, part of it, Denise, is they want to actually, they don't want to be bombarded. That's the truth. But here's what I do in that case is literally pick up the phone and start the lovely person who answers it. You just ask a very pointed question. Who is the producer for the morning show? And what is their email, right? And see how far you can get. Usually you can actually get it that way, literally, by that. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect. And if they say, so be kind, be nice, as Jill pointed out. And if they ask, well, why do you need it? Because that could happen. I could see the receptionist saying something like that. And what's the best response for that?
So you mean if the receptionist says, sorry, Charlie, kind of thing?
Well, says, why do you need their contact information?
Yeah, they won't honestly usually ask that. No, they won't usually say that, but they will. They might say, well, you can send it into, and it would be a general producer. The other reality is and please reach out to me. I have colleagues who actually compile media lists, and they can be a little more directed. You pay for that service, like $300, but it's worth it. So, we can direct you to the right way to compile media lists that are paid for, but realistically in your market, you're looking at 7 to 9 names typically. And I would start with picking up the phone and your local media. I think it's going to work.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right. Beautiful. Let's next go to Dr. Roz.
Good morning. You're loved, appreciated, celebrated, valued, and most cherished. I love the coral and the green. Dr. Jill, you always just come with it. And I just am so thankful for the clarity of what you give to us each and every time. I needed this and just really am wanting to sit still for the next 72 hours and listen to this again, because you give so much clarity, but then the action still goes with us. What are we doing with the information to be able to push forward in greatness and brilliance? So I just want to say, I love you always. And, when I do the kindness, I think of that's one of the fruit of the spirit is kindness. So I'm going to pass that on. And then we have a love kindness card at our church. So I'm going to tell Pastor that they need to get you for our women's fellowship, get you over there and get you on stage or something. Okay. But I love you, my sister. We'll have a private talk. I love you. Thank you, Nancy. Y'all have a God amazing day.
We will. Thank you. Thank you. And let's go ahead and open up for our next caller, Sue Wickstrom.
Good morning. Thank you so much for this. I mean, this was just wow. Yeah, exactly.
That's why we call it Wow Wednesday.
I only wish that I had heard it last week, because I did an event. I was on a local TV show on Monday that I was not in my best light. And I would love some support on like how to move forward after that.
So first of all, Sue, let me acknowledge you were on it. Okay, so here's good news for you. The public has a very short memory. I know you're analyzing every aspect. You didn't think you showed up as great, but let me just assure you, you have the braggability factor, and it is a braggability factor of, I was recently featured on ABC TV in North Carolina. I'll just make that up, and that's all you're going to say. Here's the truth. They are not going to go to the link and go, oh my God, that's Sue. Oh, I promise you were probably better than you think. And the point is, you showed up, you did it, and now you can leverage it, brag about it. And I want to encourage you to take that, I was featured on, and go now to the other 3 and 4 stations, however many in your marketplace, and say, I was recently featured on ABC and, North Carolina, and I want to come to your people and talk about, do a slightly different version. You could take it up a notch to the national shows. You could hit up your local newspaper and business journal, perhaps. You could take it to a national magazine. Every part of what you do counts. And so it doesn't matter that everything wasn't perfect. The point is, you were now featured on. That goes on your website. That goes into your press releases. That goes on your bio, my friend. And just know that it's okay. It's really okay. And I want you to keep going and to publicize. Remember, I said that earlier, publicize your publicity. It really works.
It's so scary to think of putting this out there and then having people want to go look at it and say, oh, what did she do?
I can't imagine you were as bad as you're making out to be.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That's my feeling. And the other reality is, okay, so maybe next time you get your points a little better. By the way, I show up on TV shows, 30 years of publicity experience, and I have a little card, a Post-it, and I got my 3 messages on there that I can quickly glance at to be reminded, believe me, and it's okay. It's, I would just encourage you, because you got something. Let's leverage it. And that means jump from it, like I said before, and go to the other stations, go to the next level, because you did it. You did it. It's okay. I promise you, they're not going to look at every single little thing and listen even to the whole interview. They just want to know you've been on media. Media begets media. I'll just repeat that. And it does everything matters and everything counts.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah. Good for you. That is a celebration, and we're always getting better. The presentation that I did 10 years ago is not nearly as good as the one I do today. It's all a learning and a process. And take Jill up on her really generous gift. Go to publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. All one.
Yeah, I've already got it.
You're so good.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. All right. So good. All right. Let's go to our next caller, Yves Ramirez.
Hello, good morning. Thank you and congratulations in your wedding. That's awesome news. Thank you for this information. It's so valuable. And I wanted to ask, I've been, especially in Spanish TV stations, I've been doing a couple of interviews, but not in the local one. So how can I do like my elevated pitch. I'm a dietitian. I care about nutrition and health.
Wonderful. So a couple things. One is in your own community, right? What's the problem in the Hispanic community with diet, with nutrition? I would focus on that for Hispanic media. Just saying. I think that would be interesting. And just the fact of, like one of my clients is a nonprofit and doing beautiful work with matching children, foster children with their original parents. And he's Hispanic. He has gotten huge amounts of media, of like all kinds, right? Just using the fact of his Hispanic heritage. So I want to encourage you to go bigger, Univision, excuse me for my lack of great accent there, and everything you could use, not only in your marketplace. What market are you in? In other words, where are you based?
Nutrition, health.
South Florida.
South Florida, great. Univision, yes. And many, many more, I'm sure. So that's one place I want you to start. And you can specifically do it as a story about how it affects the community. And I would probably narrow it that way. It would be really interesting. I definitely want you poised for next year's Hispanic Heritage Month. Absolutely in. And then, of course, diet and nutrition for all of us is a key, especially for maintaining health as we, come through a pretty tough world, right? And so I think that's always a key, wonderful story for everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that helps.
Yes, definitely.
Very good. Thank you, Evies. All right, Mary Jane Charles is up next.
Good morning, Jill. Thank you, Nancy. This has been fabulous. I was a little bit late in. I didn't put the alarm on my phone. I was like, I have to get to Jill. So here I am at the gate. I want to thank you for the national calendar link. That's spectacular. What I do, I have this book, Collect Your Last Wishes and Your Instructions. That is totally mental health, to unearth and get it done. But the kindness that comes with it, that aspect folds right in as well. You're helping yourself and your family and anyone else around you who might follow in your footsteps. So I was just writing as fast as I could. I have signed up for your package. I was like, oh my God, she's talking to me. And the positivity, that is enormous, both for me, but the audience. It's okay, to talk about these things. It's not a sex conversation. It's a lift of things to leave your family, like we leave our pet sitters and our house sitters. Last but not least, I didn't think of ethnicity, but there are a lot of Irish fears that trickle in. I'm not talking about death. Oh my God, the list is long, comical, but it's still there in a lot of families. So thank you hugely. And I've signed up for everything. Thank you very much.
I'm so glad, Mary Jane. I want to add one thing in there that I didn't mention, and that is age.
Yes.
I have to tell you, one of my clients, she was 72 when I met her. She self-published a book. She's a yoga teacher. She's absolutely beautiful, and she never wanted to talk about her age. And then I said, listen, you got to use everything you've got. That got her on, check it out, Good Day LA, big TV show, good morning show. And using my strategy around problem solution, she stayed on track and talked about how to age beautifully. This is a woman who never wanted to say her age. And let me just tell you, she did such a great job. And funny enough, the next guest didn't show up. So her 4 minutes turned into 8 minutes. And then they asked her back.
Nice.
And isn't that wonderful? And the whole thing was around how to age gracefully, how to look great. It wasn't about her book or yoga classes or anything else. So this is the part, use everything you've got. And age is a good one too.
Yes, thank you. And your analogy to baseball, I just said, knock it out of the park. So
I love.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Jane. And I'm excited for everyone who's listening in today who is taking these golden nuggets and applying them, right? That's what we want you to do next. Don't just say these are great ideas. Get out and do it, because that seed that has been planted in you, that wisdom, that expertise, that business you've been building and putting all of your heart and soul into, there are people out there waiting that need you, need your expertise. And publicity is the way for you to reach the masses and be of highest service. So good. So good. All right, my friend. Well, we're going to wrap up. We are at the top of the hour coming up here. Once again, for everybody listening, 2 ways to stay in this beautiful energy and brilliance that Jill provides. Go to jilllublin.com/kindness circles. And then on the publicity side, go to publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. And get into Jill's world, which her world is expanding and filling up with more love. So let's take a moment again and say congratulations, wishing Jill and Steve years and years of love and happiness as they get into Sunday, their beautiful wedding. Are you going on a honeymoon?
Yes, I am, to Thailand.
That is beautiful. When do you leave?
3 days after the wedding.
Oh, good. Ah, beautiful. Yay. Let's hear it for Jill and Steve. And thank you for pouring into us so much today, my friend. I love you greatly.
Love you too. You're all superstars. Bless you.
So perfect. All right, everyone. Have an amazing wow day. And we'll see you back here next week. Be sure to connect with Jill and grab those tickets for Level Up. You can save 50%. Go to our calendar at womensprosperityNetwork.com and use the code SAVE50, all one word, all capitalized. And we'll see you as we continue supporting you and leveling up to get out there, reach more people, and enjoy your life even more than you already are. So have a beautiful day. Bye, Jill.
Bye.